This video was recorded with the AverMedia Live Gamer Portable. Skip it up and that up! So wait a second, a Microsoft developer thinks the PlayStation 4 is a better platform? Shout out goes to YouTube user Brian CJ Chu. I think I said it right. I'll have a link to his channel below in the description. So according to a site named SidTech, where gadget freaks never sleep, I don't know why I hate that motto, an anonymous Microsoft developer said that they prefer the PlayStation 4 over the Xbox One because it has better specs and features. This is exactly what the article has to say. I'm going to quote it here for a second. An individual who doesn't want to be named and who says that they have been a developer on the Xbox One has been on Reddit and spoke out about the family sharing features and specs of the Xbox One in comparison to those on the Sony PlayStation 4. What does happen to be interesting about the rumor is that Reddit has had confirmation that the person is someone who has worked on the console extensively, the Xbox One. There is a confirmed Xbox One tag by the name of the person when he has made comments. While there are many topics that have been covered, some of the most important ones are that the person says that on paper, the PS4 specs are better than the Xbox One. See, that's the key thing that they should have had in the title of this article, is that on paper, the specs seem better, not real-world performance. That's the key. The comments do happen to be interesting as they actually come from someone who has worked on the Xbox 360. I think that's a typo. I think they meant to say Xbox One, but whatever. They said Xbox 360. I'm assuming Xbox One, so just take that part with a grain of salt. Out of those polled, 23% of those were planning to create a PS4 title next, 14% were eyeing up the Xbox One, and 7% were working on a Wii U title. Look, I wasn't even going to talk about this, but a billion people sent it to me, so I assume that a lot of you have interest in this article. First off, the whole anonymous thing cracks me up, because how do we know this guy has any credibility? How do we know that he's a legitimate source? I mean, I understand that part of my job is to discuss rumors and see if I can debunk them or whatever, but whatever. The anonymous thing drives me crazy, but I guess I have to deal with it. Here is the thing. I'm not a developer. You're not a software engineer. I'm not a software engineer. It's hard to say, okay, I understand we could go into teraflops and the GPU on the Xbox One is ESRAM, but the RAM, the 8 gigabytes of GDDR5 is faster in the PS4, and we could go into all this stuff and have a tit-for-tat fight for hours on end. But we don't know, because we're not sitting there making code for these new consoles, exactly what the strengths and limitations of them are. Okay, I mean, obviously, if it was like a huge difference, like the Xbox One only had 4 gigabytes of RAM and a quad-core processor, and the PS4 had an 8-core processor and 8 gigabytes of GDDR5, you know, obviously that's a huge difference, and it's going to be night and day. Well, you never know, because the law of diminishing returns, but that's a different story. I've talked about that before with the Wii U. But obviously, you know, that's a big gap in specs. But, you know, this is, who knows, man? You know, maybe the developers will start wrapping their mind around that extra RAM that's on the graphics processor, excuse me, of the Xbox One, and say, hey, we could really tweak this RAM and really make the game shine, and you may never notice the difference between the two consoles. Take your teraflops and the difference and put that aside. You know, we don't know. We have no idea until these consoles are in our home, like I've said before. We're not going to know what exactly the gap in performance is, or if there will even be one that's noticeable. So, hey, you know, it's part of the business. It's the eve of the next generation of consoles. You're going to hear me talking about them a lot, and you're going to see a lot of articles talking about, you know, things with the Xbox One and PS4 and Wii U. But you know, I want to see these consoles in my home and see what real world performance is. I don't want to hear about some anonymous asshat on the internet who claims to work for Microsoft who's going to tell me that, oh yeah, the PS4 is just miles ahead on paper. Like, on paper actually means something. Anyway. Alright folks, make sure to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe, and if you have an interesting news story you would like me to discuss, private message me with a link via YouTube, and if I use your news article I will give you a shout out in the video and feature your YouTube channel in the description. Have a good one.